Hi folks, welcome to Development Diary 3. Last week I told you about a couple of the mini games that the 8th Continent offers, and next week I'm going to tell you about a couple of the others that we've got. But I thought this week we'd take a bit of a break and think about something different, which I've been wanting to tell everyone about, which is the influences on writing of the 8th Continent. How did the 8th Continent come about? In at number 5 is actually my favourite book of all time, bar none, in any genre, by any writer. And a lot of people are going to think I'm going to say something like Fight Club, I would say, if they know me, but actually I'm going to say 1984, a post-apocalyptic vision like no other, unrivaled. The only thing that makes me sad about 1984 is the existence of the reality TV series Big Brother. Number 4. Okay, number 4. I had to sort of move this one around a little bit on the scale, but I'm going to say BioShock. Fantastic, brilliant PC game. Probably one of the only games that I can think of that has sort of interwoven philosophy with basic first-person shooter gore and violence. Also, the great thing about BioShock as well, one of its main strengths is the environments, and I wanted to recreate that idea as well. In BioShock, you walk into a place and it's completely destroyed, or it's not completely destroyed, it's partially destroyed, and there's a sense of a world that existed before, and a life that existed before, and a philosophy that underpinned that place. So you've got two layers. You've got the destroyed world, and you've got underneath that the world that used to exist, and that is something that I wanted to do to bring into my writing of the 8th Continent. Okay, and we're coming into number 3 now. So what's my third major influence? Well, difficult. I mean, this one I moved around a little bit. I thought this could quite easily be number 1, but for want of it being too obvious a choice, I've put it at number 3, and it is the original fighting fantasy novels. The one that I've chosen to be my third slot is going to be The Forest of Doom by Ian Livingstone. My personal favourite. I never completed it. I don't think, I mean, the number of fighting fantasy novels that I've completed in my life, probably I can count on one hand and one finger of one hand. But they were the books that I picked up when I was 13, 14 years old that got me into reading, that got me into writing eventually. I always knew I was going to write a choose-your-own-adventure style story, and now I have. Number 2. Ooh. Okay, number 2. This is going to be number 1, and again it makes me laugh because anyone who knows me knows that this is going to be somewhere on the list, and it's a shameful admission, but it's something that I've sunk many hours into, probably to the detriment of my writing career, and that is Fallout, the whole Fallout franchise. Now, I'm a bit too young to have played the original Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. I didn't get into them. The graphics were a little bit too dated for me, and I know some major fans will slate me for saying that, but Fallout 3 was unlike any game I'd ever played. And of course, not only does it have that post-apocalyptic feel that I was just fell in love with, but it also has an element of choose your own adventure when you go into the NPC characters, when you go into the conversations with the characters. However, number 1 on my list is the text that sealed my fate to write the 8th Continent. I don't think I would have written the 8th Continent without having read this book. One of my favourite writers anyway, I've been following what he'd been writing. I've got loads of his books on that shelf over there, and just a brilliant writer. One of my favourite texts that he wrote that isn't my number one is No Country for Old Men. But no, the book of Cormac McCarthy's that is my number one is, of course, The Road. Okay, best book ever. For me, I mean, the main influences there are just the idea that when you get a world and you strip away a civilization, you kind of destroy that world. You leave a kind of blank canvas where you can concentrate on the kind of raw human relationships and the raw human drives that are always there in the real world. I mean, Cormac McCarthy has talked about the book at length, and it's interesting to see him check out interviews with him. But the idea that The Road is really a love story to his son is a pretty common one, and seems pretty obvious when you read the book. But yeah, just that relentless style, that relentless kind of misery. Okay, but actually the raw drive and the love that binds the father and the son together throughout that story was something that really inspired me, and I thought, okay, family relationships have to be at the root of any post-apocalyptic story that I end up writing. So there we have it, my top 5 influences on the 8th continent. Now, this development diary is supposed to be short and to the point, so I hope I haven't bored you too much, but once I get on to my favourite computer games and books, I get a little bit talkative, and it's quite nice sitting in your living room talking to yourself. Anyway, so until next time, I'm planning next time to show you a little bit more about the two other mini games that I haven't yet covered, and Ben and I are really busy working on the new demo, so hopefully quite soon, perhaps before Christmas, a new demo for the 8th continent will be out for you to download, and then you can see what on earth I've been talking about all this time. So until now, or until then I should say, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.